Hey guys, so this video we're going to actually be painting one of the enclosures. It's a 1598, it's a very small one. Like I said in the last video, probably not the best enclosure to be painting on because there's actually no room to paint much of interest in there. I don't even know what I'm going to paint. I'm probably a little bit silly for not actually coming up with a plan before I paint, because if I actually had a plan it would be better than just slapping on some paint, but hey, what the hell, let's just give it a shot. I'm tempted to do something in white because white looks really good on blue, like I did with the elder sign fuzz, the elder sign symbol there. That was Posca, by the way, as I mentioned in the last video. Yeah, that's Posca, not acrylic paint. I'm going to do a bit of both just so you can see both in action. Yeah, but I may draw away from the white. I might just give it another shot with a different color. If it looks rubbish, I can just, it's acrylic, it comes off very easily. You just wipe it off with a wet rag, or you can, even if it's fully dry, you can just scratch it off or get it off another way. So it's no big deal if it comes out looking like rubbish. But I'm not going to talk too much in this one. I just want to get straight into it. So let's, I'll talk while I paint, basically, or while I'm just mucking around. It's going to be a very casual video, and not formal at all. Yeah, I'll just be painting, and if it gets a bit boring, I'll just time lapse it and skip forward. Let's take a look. Okay, so just a note on the brushes that I'm using. They're quite fine brushes. One of them is a 0 and the other one is a 0, which is quite funny. This 0, the one with the end that looks like it's been through hell and back, was a budget one from a $2 shop. I think it was about $3. It's sable, but it's just rubbish quality. This one is a model. Can I get that in focus? This one is a modeler's brush, and it was $10, and it's a good quality brand, and it's got a fantastic end on it. It's like a pen. It's just so sharp. Once you get that wet and paint on the end, it's very precise. So it's worthwhile getting a decent quality brush. I know I said in the last video that Posca pens are better for detail, but if you've got a good brush like that, you could probably get away with it. Still probably going to be easier writing with the Posca pen because it's just a pen. So let's put down a color, and I'm just trying to think of what color I want to put down. I was thinking gold. I don't know why I keep doing gold lately. Well, it looks pretty good, I suppose. I've got a lot of colors to choose from, obviously, from this range. So something that's going to go with blue, something that's cool. Purple's going to look a bit funny, I think. You could actually do blue on blue, would look pretty good. It's a very unimaginative, unimaginative option, or maybe silver. Actually, I don't think I've done one with silver before. Maybe we'll do silver. I've actually got a different silver. The air color silver is better than the model color silver. It comes out like mercury. I'll just grab it. So I've got some metallic color here that I was just mucking around with. I'm just going to show you just a quick example of painting on a enclosure. So this is the sharp brush I was talking about. So if you had to write the word gain, it's actually quite difficult doing this because the camera is in my way, and I don't want to get my head in the way of the camera. I actually did it before, it looked much better than that, but I'm finding it difficult to paint behind this camera. But you can get the idea that you can paint like this, or, you know, as an example, if you wanted to do like a sun pattern or something on the 3-pole double throw, put it on nice and thick. You know, again, it's like a child's painted it. If I was going to do this, if this was going to be the final picture, I'd obviously spend a lot more time. I'm just showing you an example of what it's like to paint with the acrylics. So if you're going to use a Posca pen, it's just like, you know, writing your name. So it's a lot simpler, obviously, and again, it's the same with the you know, sun pattern or whatever you're going to do. It's just like drawing. So I guess if you're struggling artistically like I am, you'd probably want to go for the Posca pens. They're easy to use. But if you're going to be filling in a lot of colours and mixing a lot of colours, you want to go with the with the acrylic paints. And of course, it's easy to wipe off. I just use it's a baby wipe. We've got them around the house. I use baby wipes for everything. But yeah, it just cleans off nice and easily. So I think I'm going to outline with white again, because it seems to be the easiest option, and I think I might do the labels in white as well. But what am I going to actually outline? I might do maybe some zigzaggy pattern on the front, and then just colour it in blocks. I think that might be the way to go. Sorry, I'm a little off the camera. It's quite difficult doing this behind the camera. Problem with using a ruler and paint, obviously, is that the paint goes under, but I'm going to go over it with acrylic paint anyway, so it might not matter. This is new to me, so let's give it a shot. And if it looks rubbish, lesson learned. Obviously, you have to be careful that you don't smudge what you've already done as well. So I'll need to wait for that to dry before I can do that middle one, because I'm going to smudge everything else. But yeah, there you go. That might work out alright. I think once I start colouring it in, I might just put another one down the bottom here. Break it up a bit. And it doesn't matter that it's all uneven like this. I'll show you why when it's dry. This stuff dries incredibly fast, and it's one of the pros, I guess, of using it. Just trying to get in a better position here. Very, very awkward. I'm kind of up against the wall with this camera, so you can see what's actually going on. I just use a toothpick and just see these little imperfections here. You can just scratch them off. This is what I did with the elder sign picture to get the little so sharp. They looked like rubbish when I first did it. I thought there's got to be a way that I can clean this up, and I just scratched it off with a toothpick just to clean it up a bit. I'll probably be doing these lines again, because once I start painting inside those areas, it's going to turn into a mess again. So it's dry already, so I can do the middle line, which I'll probably go try and keep the random geometric shapes going on here. Like that. Good enough for August. And then I'm going to use a bit of paint to fill in some of these gaps. I've got some silver paint here. I'm just going to smack it on. So now this stuff dries pretty fast, so I'm imagining this is going to be dry already. It might not be, but I'll give it a crack and build up another layer. No, it's still a bit soft, so I'll come back to it later. So might do another colour while we're waiting for that to happen. Let's try a blue. In fact, I might mix some silver with the blue just to make it a metallic blue. I want to throw in a colour that's just totally different to the ones that are there, and because these colours are kind of cool colours, if I chuck on a warm colour like this, I'm not sure if it's going to work, so I might just give it a try and see what it looks like. Actually, I might try orange. I put that previous colour on too thin, so I put too much water in it. But I don't mind this colour, it kind of looks a bit sort of like rust. So I'm going to go with it. I don't know if it's going to look any good in the end, but that's part of the fun. Getting creative, making mistakes. So that's where the pedal is at the moment. I'm thinking, well, before we go any further, you're probably thinking you're doing a bit of a rough job on the sides and you've lost the white lines. I'm actually planning on redoing the white lines once it's finished, because it'll dry. You can just paint straight over the top, and you don't need to worry about the sides either, because that'll just, I mean, there's a, let me get that in the camera, there's a bit of paint that I got in the wrong spot. You can just get, it'll scratch off, but you can also just use a wet one and it will come off. So for these corners, around the corners, I'll probably just use a toothpick and just scrape it off. So redoing the white lines actually made a bit of a mess, but remember that when it dries you can just scratch it off anyway, and if you make an error like on, I don't know if you can see on the inside, the white paint went under the ruler and made a mess on the silver, I can just use silver to touch it up anyway, so it doesn't matter. You end up chasing your tail though, so you got to call it quits somewhere. I probably didn't even really need to do it. Might look a little bit better than it did before, I suppose, and once I clean up those areas it'll probably look pretty good. So all I'm going to do now is clean it up, and then I'm just going to put volume and gain on the side, and that's it, and then just epoxy over the top, and it should look pretty good. And of course, just now as I'm scraping off the side of this enclosure, it just painfully dawned on me what a much easier idea would be to just actually use painter's tape around the top. Just put a strip of painter's tape around there, paint over the edges, and then when you're done, just rip it off. Much easier than doing this. But it does demonstrate the use of having a pick or something that's kind of hard but dull but pointy, if there is such a thing, just to scrape off some of the excess like I'm doing, or wherever you've made a mistake. So I'm just going to put a V and a G for the two knobs. I've just been experimenting with how I'm going to write it, probably like that. Kind of goes with the angular geometric look of the paint job. And that's it, and then I'm just going to epoxy it. Probably could have come up with something a little bit more appealing than that, but it's getting late, so I need to wrap it up. So I hope you got something out of that, or give you an idea of what you can do with paints. As you can see, it's not the most artistic thing you've ever seen, but it's pretty appealing, I think. It's definitely eye-catching. It's going to be very eye-catching once I put the epoxy over the top as well and make it really shine. And just a couple of things to leave. Firstly, yeah, I hope I got all of it in the video. I was focusing more on painting than I was on the actual camera. Sorry about that if I've stuffed up somewhere, but I'll soon see when I go through and edit all the video. And yeah, I just wanted to leave you with two final things. When you first start painting on it, it always looks rubbish. Don't be deterred. Have faith that when you finish, it will look good, which leads me on to the second point. Very quick story for you. When I was younger, I had a friend who was very good at drawing. I used to sketch a few things here and there in a book, and I was never very good at it. But I did one picture, and I remember I really liked this picture. It was a guy, a knight standing in armor, and he had horns and he had a flaming sword. It was like a mythical fantasy sort of picture, and I showed him, and he said, I said, I really love this picture, it looks great. And he goes, it looks good because it's finished. Think about that. It never looks good when you start. It's when you finish it. You put the time in, you focus on the details, it'll come up good. So if you're not very good at art and things like that, or being creative or whatever, just remember that. It'll look good when it's finished. Just keep refining it and keep working on it, and it will come out looking pretty good. That doesn't look too bad, I don't think. It's different, and there's only one of them in the world, and my time that I just spent patiently working on it will be immortalized on the front of this pedal forever. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video and you got something out of it, and you enjoyed watching me paint the pedal. And stay tuned for more pedal videos. If you like the video, give me a like, give me a thumbs up. Appreciate it. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.